this lecture, okay, ya estamos en el capítulo 4. We're on chapter 4, which is pretty fascinating and it's really fast. No, the semester is like, we're almost there. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Así que vamos a empezar con el capítulo 4. We're going to start with chapter 4. Capítulo 4 hablamos sobre la rutina y los planes. We're talking about our daily routines and our plans. Así que vamos a empezar con la rutina primero. With the routine. Vamos a empezar con la rutina diaria. ¿Sí? ¿Qué es la rutina diaria? What is the daily routine? ¿Sí? ¿Qué es? Things that you do to get ready, to get yourself ready. And so, los pronombres reflexivos, the main topic, the lecture of today, es sobre los pronombres reflexivos. ¿Y qué es un pronombre reflexivo? What is it? If you think about it, think about it in English, ¿sí? Pronombres reflexivos, reflexive pronouns. What are they? What are they? ¿Sí? Vamos a empezar con ese verbo, lavar, ¿no? Let's begin with lavar. Lavar, it's an AR verb. It means to wash, ¿sí? And in chapter 3, en el capítulo 3, hablamos sobre AR, ER y R, ¿sí? Los verbos regulares que terminan en AR, ER e IR, ¿sí? So we learned the verbs that end in AR, ER, and IR verb, ¿sí? Entonces tenemos este verbo, lavar, just to wash. Quiero que piensen, ¿sí? Think, piensa. What are some things you wash? It can be anything, ¿sí? Puede ser lo que sea. ¿Qué son algunas cosas que tú lavas? Maybe estás pensando, tal vez piensas en lavar los platos sucios, the dirty dishes. Tal vez lavas la ropa, you wash clothes. Lavas el carro, the car. ¿Sí? Lava. Those are something you wash. So we would know that we wash things that are not part of us, ¿sí? That are separate. So, lavamos los platos sucios, ¿sí? We wash dishes. Yo lavo platos sucios. Repite conmigo. Repeat. Yo lavo los platos sucios. Yo lavo la ropa. Y yo lavo el carro. Entonces, so we know that the conjugations of regular AR verbs, see, in the present form, in Spanish are o, as, a, amos, an. Right? If you listen to that song, you know what I'm talking about. Entonces, sabemos que estos son los, cómo terminan los verbos a, ere. We know that these are the ending for regular AR verbs. O, as, a, amos, an. ¿Sí? Pero también lavamos, we also wash, cosas que son parte de nosotros, right? That are attached to us. Como por ejemplo, me lavo las manos. Repeat. Me lavo las manos. ¿Sí? Yo me lavo las manos. ¿Sí? Ella se lava la cara. Se lava la cara. Nosotras o nosotros nos lavamos el cabello, ¿sí? O el pelo, como ustedes le quieran llamar. Entonces, what do we notice? We notice that the conjugations for AR stay the same, ¿sí? Lavo, lava, amos, ¿sí? O, amos. The only thing that we are adding is the reflexive pronoun. And in these examples, estos ejemplos, what are the reflective pronouns? Right? What are they? Which ones are they? Me, se, y nos. These are the reflexive pronouns for these examples. Yo me, ella se, nosotros, nosotras, nos. Lavo, which that is our verb, AR, it has the regular AR ending for yo. O, a for ella, and amos for nosotras, or nosotros. Entonces, so what exactly is a reflexive verb and a reflexive pronoun? To say that we wash something that's not part of us, we use the regular conjugation of lavar, right? Yo lavo los platos sucios. Again, I wash dirty dishes. Yo lavo los platos sucios. But to say that I wash my face, see, that's attached to me, to myself, to my body, ¿sí? We always use a reflexive pronoun. In this case, yo me lavo la cara, okay? Me identifies who's receiving the action, right? Who's receiving this action. Because lavo, that's our verb, right? It's an action verb. Entonces, yo me lavo. So I guess in parentheses, I can say yo me lavo or me lavo la cara. See? So me already indicates who our subject is. Entonces, tenemos lavar y lavarse. This is our regular lavar. See, our regular verb. Y lavarse, that is our reflexive verb. That SE at the end makes it reflexive. Okay? Entonces, aquí tenemos, ¿sí? Las conjugaciones regulares de AR. We have the regular conjugations of AR verbs. O, as, a, amos, an. ¿Sí? Lavarse, that's a reflexive verb. ¿Sí? And so we have the reflexive pronouns. Yo me lavo. Tú te lavas. Ella, él, usted se lava. Nosotros nos lavamos. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se lavan. Notice the endings of AR stay the same, but we are adding the reflexive pronouns. See? Now, ojo, cuidado. Because se is used for both in singular and in plural. So you must know who your subject is and conjugate the verb accordingly. So like, let's say we have, let's say we have él se, right? Él se lava. But we can't say él se lavan, right? Because they have the same reflexive pronoun. We have to know, right? We have se lava. Well, because it doesn't have an N, we know it's él, ella, usted. But if we were looking at lavan, se lavan, we have the N at the end, so that tells us that it's ellos, ellas, ustedes, right? It's more than one person. Okay, entonces, sí, so you have to know who your subject is, ¿vale? Muy bien, entonces aquí tenemos más ejemplos, ¿sí? Of what these reflexive pronouns are. Tenemos yo me lavo, tú te lavas, él, ella, usted se lava, nosotros nos lavamos y ellos, ellas se lavan. Okay, now notice, some of these are already familiar. Ya los hemos visto en otros lugares, like me, te, y nos. Those are pretty repetitive. So remember when we talked about me gusta, right? I like, you like, we like, right? We also used me. Me gusta, te gusta, nos gusta. See? The only different ones are se, okay, in this case. But these are reflexive pronouns. Entonces tenemos más verbos reflexivos, como levantarse, ¿sí? To get up. This is another. Levantarse. Entonces, tengo aquí el subject pronoun. We have the subject pronoun here. I'm asking you to complete this sentence with the reflexive pronoun and levantarse. Okay, so as an example, vamos a hacer esta juntos. Yo me, this is a reflexive pronoun. Yo me levanto. See? So we know that levantar is an AR verb. So of course I'm going to add an O because I'm talking about yo. Yo me levanto. Tú te, what's the ending for ARs? Levantas. Excelente. Él, ella, usted se levanta. Nosotros, nosotras nos levantamos. Y ellos, ellas, ustedes se levantan. Duerme. Muy bien. Vamos a seguirle con estos. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se levantan. Excelente. levantan, ¿sí? Ahora tenemos este otro verbo reflexivo. So this is a different one. Cepillarse, ¿sí? To brush. En esta imagen se está cepillando los dientes, ¿sí? Cepillarse los dientes. To brush your teeth, ¿sí? Entonces, cepillarse, we know that the SE at the end makes it reflexive, okay? But it's an AR verb. Entonces, we are writing the reflexive pronoun here. What's our reflexive pronoun? For yo. Si dijiste me, muy bien. You said me, good job. Excelente. Yo me cepillo, muy bien. Tú te, ¿qué? Cepillas, sí. Él se cepilla. Nosotros nos cepillamos. This one's together. Ellos se cepillan, ¿sí? Entonces tenemos más verbos. So we have more examples of these reflexive verbs. Y en Canva tienen una asignatura, tienen una tarea donde tienen que escribir estos verbos reflexivos. Entonces, for each reflexive verb, right, for these, the ones I'm going to give to you, you are going to give me, you're going to be writing me these examples like we, see? So you're going to write yo me, using the reflexive pronoun, and then the verb, right? The reflexive verb. In this case, tenemos ducharse, right? To shower. Some of you might know it as bañarse, and that's fine. Ducharse o bañarse. It's just to shower, ¿sí? Entonces, en Canva me vas a escribir yo me ducho. Tú te duchas, right? So we're gonna use the correct reflexive pronoun with the correct conjugation, the correct ending. So we have ducharse, secarse, afeitarse, ¿sí? Peinarse, maquillarse y ponerse. Now, for ponerse, this was a little interesting because this is a yo-go verb. That means that in the yo form, right, instead of ending in just an O, like a regular ER verb, it ends in GO. So only in the yo form. So yo me pongo, right? So we drop the ER and then we add a GO. And then you see the other regular endings for ER verb. And so yo, tú te pones, okay? So you're gonna plug those in, or ponerse. And so then we have irregular reflexive verbs as well that we're gonna run into. Así que debemos aprenderlos. Tenemos los ejemplos como dormirse, acostarse, vestirse y despertarse. Now these are interesting because they have a change in their stem. And maybe you already know this, okay? Like dormirse, right? When I say what we have, this is a reflexive verb, okay? The SE makes it reflexive. But if we look at just the verb, acostar, see? It's an AR verb, right? AR is our ending. But acost, up until the T, see? That is our stem. And so when we have irregulars, right? There's sometimes a change in the stem. In this case, acostarse, right? There's a change because it goes from O to UE. And so we are changing the stem. But then if you notice, we have the ending that is still the same, okay? It follows the same thing. So me acuesto. The only thing is that we're changing the stem in this case. Entonces tenemos acostarse, which is to lie down, ¿sí? Acuesto, for me. Yo me acuesto. And that's going to happen to all of the forms. So si vamos a ver aquí. Yo me acuesto. Tú te acuestas. So notice the endings are still the same because it's an AR verb. But then we're adding that UE. So that's this, when you see here, I'm just telling you, it goes from O to UE. Él se acuesta. acuesta. Nosotros nos acostamos. Ellos se acuestan. ¿Sí? Ahora dormir. Again, dormirse, to sleep. Otra vez, cambia de la O a UE. It changes from O to UE again. Okay? And now, this time, it's not an AR verb. It's an IR verb. And so you have the endings for IRs right here in the corner. So dormirse, if it changes to an UE, right? Yo me duermo. Again, duermo. Tú te duermes, ¿sí? Ella se duerme. Nosotros nos dormimos. And if you notice on the other one too, when they change on the stem, it doesn't change on the nosotros. So notice here, nosotros nos dormimos. That O stays the same. And I think that happened on the other one. I just forgot to mention it. Nosotros nos acostamos. So see here, we don't change it. We don't change the O to UE. So nosotros is the only exception when we are changing the stems. Entonces tú te duermes, nosotros nos dormimos. Ustedes se duermen. Vestirse, again, is an IR verb. See, entonces we have the IR endings here, but in this case, the E changes to an I. ¿Sí? Vestirse, entonces, yo me visto, tú te vistes, usted se viste, nosotros nos, again, nosotros vestimos, ¿sí? E doesn't change, stays, ¿ok? Y ellos, ellas, ustedes se visten. Entonces tenemos otra vez despertarse. So this is the last one we have for this these examples, but you have these on your assignments for this week. Entonces tenemos despertarse. Esta también cambia de E a IE. Entonces, yo me despierto. Okay. And notice I'll usually say which one because this one could be confusing because it has two E's. So it's like, ¿cuál voy a cambiar, right? Which one am I going to change? And so in this case is the second E. Yo me despierto. Again, it's an AR, so the endings are going to follow those AR endings, okay? Tú te despiertas. Nosotros nos despertamos. See, it doesn't change because it's nosotros. Ellos se despiertan. Bueno, ellos, ustedes se despiertan. Entonces, aquí vamos a practicar un poquito. So, maybe pause this video, pongan pausa al video y van a escribir el pronombre reflexivo. You're going to write the reflexive pronoun and then write the correct use of levantarse. So yo, remember the reflexive pronoun, is it me, is it te, is it se, is it nos, o se. Yo, blank, levantarse a las 7 de la mañana. Y mi hermano, right? Y mi hermano, blank, a las 8. Después yo, blank, los dientes. Finalmente yo, blank. ¿A qué hora tú te levantas? So take those hints, right? Yo, that's my form. On my second one here, y mi hermano. Mi hermano, ¿ese yo? No. ¿Ese tú? No. ¿Es él, ella, usted? We're talking about mi hermano, one person. Entonces tiene que ser él, right? Mi hermano. And so that's going to be our third. So take a little pause here. And then we'll check your answers. Entonces, hopefully you paused it and you've come back. Y esto, vamos a revisar tu trabajo. Let's check your work. Entonces, si tienes esto, muy bien hecho. We have if these are your answers, great job. Yo me levanto, ¿sí? Levantarse. Yo me levanto a las 7 de la mañana. Mi hermano se levanta a las 8 de la mañana. Después yo me cepillo los dientes y finalmente me ducho. ¿Y a qué hora te levantas? Right? Because I'm asking you. Te levantas. And so we had this additional vocabulary. Después de, antes de, y finalmente. Finalmente, right? To say what you did first, second, and third. And so we have to express before or after doing something, right? We use después de or antes de. See? And so then if we want to talk about your routine, right? Nuestra rutina diaria, we usually say in inglés, primero, right? I first wake up. Then I stand up. Secondly, thirdly, all that stuff, right? So tenemos los números ordinales. Okay, right here. I want you to look at this first. Tenemos los números ordinales que nos indican el orden o la posición dentro de una sucesión de elementos o de una lista o conjunto. So it just indicates the order, right, or the position of certain elements or a list. In this case, since we are describing the routines, right, we always say, I first do this, I second, my third, like steps, right? First, second, third. Entonces, es lo que hacemos y usamos los números ordinales. Entonces, tenemos el primer o primero, primera, segundo, segunda, tercero, tercer, cuarto, cuarta, quinta, sexta, séptima, octava, novena, y décimo o décima, right? And again, you see that 8 because it just depends on the gender, see? Now, if you notice primer o primero, right? En tercero, they drop the final O when they are in front of a masculine noun. So, for example, be el primer chico, like the first guy. En tercer lugar, the third place. Okay, so when it's followed by a masculine noun, this case chico or lugar, then they would drop the O and use primer or tercer. Otherwise, it's primero, right? When we're giving an example of primero, me despierto, right? I first wake up. Then I would use primero, me despierto. Segundo, me cepillo los dientes. Tercero, me peino. Okay, so when we're writing about the routine, yes, we're using primero, segundo, tercero, cuarto. Okay. Entonces, para una de sus tareas es que van a ir a la página 117 y van a describir las actividades de Xiomara durante un sábado típico en orden cronológico usando los números ordinales. So this is where you're going to be practicing the numbers, right? Los números ordinales, y van a trabajar con los pronombres reflexivos y los verbos. So if you notice here, if you go to page 117, you're going to see the Xiomara's routine for the whole day. However, for this assignment, I only want you to describe what she does from 8:10, which is when she wakes up, until 9 a.m. Okay, and then just pay attention to those little squares because you see on the images what she does at what times. See, and so you're going to be using these primero, primera, segundo, segunda, tercero, tercera, and then tell me what she does. Obviously, since you're describing Xiomara's, you're not describing yours yet. Since you are describing Xiomara's routine, what form are you going to be using? Are you going to be using yo me, o tú te, o él, ella, usted, se, right? And so, because we're talking about Xiomara, we're talking about ella. Okay, so make sure that you are using the correct form, the correct reflexive pronoun. ¿Vale? Entonces, la rutina de Xiomara, página 117, describe the activities she does from 8:10 a.m. to 9 a.m. using los números ordinales, right? In orden cronológico, chronological order. Tell me what she does. Primero, segundo, tercero, cuarto. ¿Sí? And you can add the times as well. Entonces, esa es una de las tareas. So this is one of the assignments that you have. Después, yo te pregunto a ti, ¿cómo es tu rutina? Now I'm asking you. ¿Sí? ¿Cómo es tu rutina? Describe, ¿sí? ¿Qué es tu rutina? Yeah? What is your routine like? What does it look like? From when you wake up to the time you go to sleep. Now notice, aquí tengan mucho cuidado, ¿sí? Because don't write everything in a reflexive. So, obviously in the morning, me despierto, me levanto, me ducho. Now you're going to be using me a lot. Yo me despierto. Yo me levanto, right? Despierto and levantarse are two different things. For those of you who already speak Spanish, right? Me despierto is to wake up. Me levanto is physically to stand up, like to get up, ¿sí? Entonces, you write those. But then, ¿qué tal? What if you say, oh, well, I go to school? You're not going to say, yo me escuela, right? No, es yo me voy a la escuela o voy a la escuela. Yo juego el deporte, yo juego tenis, yo voy a practicar, right? I practice. So the activities that you do during the day, they're not always going to be in the reflexive form. Only the ones in the morning, like that, only the actions that you do to yourself. So remember, a reflexive pronoun and a reflexive verb, right, is something that you do to yourself, something that you do to yourself because it's attached to you. Me lavo las manos, right? I wash my hands. Me lavo la cara. Me lavo el cabello. ¿Sí? Me visto. I dress myself. Me visto. ¿Sí? Me pongo zapatos. I put on my shoes. Right? Me voy. But then if you say, me desayuno, no, because you're not doing it to you. You're having breakfast. So then you would say, yo desayuno a las 9 de la mañana, yo desayuno, right? So then you're mixing kind of what we did in chapter 3 of the activities that you do, okay, and the reflexive pronoun. So you have to make a list of, okay, what are the things that I do to myself, right? How do I get ready, basically, right? Things that when you're getting ready, you're doing things to yourself, right? To get yourself ready. So those are the reflexive verbs, right? That is when you're going to be using yo me cepillo los dientes, yo me peino, yo me despierto, right? But activities like eating breakfast, desayuno, right? Yo desayuno, yo manejo a la escuela, yo voy a hacer deporte, yo practico. And then at night again, yo me acuesto, right? I lie down, me acuesto, o yo me duermo, right? And so make sure that you're making that list to differentiate between the reflexive verbs and the regular verbs, okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. You also are going to be learning about how to form questions, and so you have some activities on how to form questions and how to answer them, okay, for this week. Entonces, si tienen alguna otra pregunta, if you have any more questions, please let me know and do not hesitate to send me a message. I'll do my best to respond. Again, just a quick reminder that this week, Noviembre 2, on Thursday, we have extra credit. And if you want to turn in any late assignments, please let me know before the end of this month or this November. After December 1st, I will not be accepting any late work. Ok, chicos, tengan un buen día y que tengan una buena semana. Hasta luego.